Okay, back from the break. Now, hi-hat. It's hi-hat time. Okay, so what's going on here is just a little thing that I often call naturally occurring open hi-hats. Now, what happens is, in the general scheme of things, you're playing a beat, then you put in an open hi-hat for accentuation. So on it goes, you see. Now, what starts to happen is that when you go back to things like Led Zeppelin's first album, of course we're talking about the legendary John Bonham, and one of the very first things you hear, okay, it's their first album, it's side one on the vinyl, track one, and it's Good Times, Bad Times. And the first thing you hear is the hi-hat pumping away, okay? So you've got that going, and so on it goes. Okay, I'm not going to play Good Times and Bad Times just yet. But what goes on is when you actually have that going, like so. So now, there's that. Now you can see actually some of the benefits. This is basic rock beat. Take the right hand off the hi-hat, put it there, just keep the left foot pumping away. In this case it's quavers. Put the right hand on the floor tom. Play the beat. Now, that's all fine and Jim dandy. Now, naturally occurring. If I do this, and what I've got is the hi-hat being played along with the right hand in unison, therefore, any time I put the left hand as a single stroke roll, is going to be open. See what happens there? So you could be... See what happens? So there's a lot of... Now, here's something. I'm just going to give a little bit of a tip of a hat to my bandmate, Lisa Kelly, if you're watching. A couple of months ago, we were all busy doing the music of Captain Beefheart. And in particular, we were doing tracks from the classic Frank Zappa produced album, Trout Mask Replica. And it's one thing to listen to it, it's one thing to grow up with it. I've had that album, I bought it when I was about 19 and was blown away. I just thought it was all avant-garde. But on more repeated listenings, I realised that they had it all sorted out and worked out because bits were repeating and all sorts of things. But the reason I'm talking about this particular thing, this particular album, is because of the drummer, John Drumbo French, okay? And I have a whole new appreciation. I already loved his drumming with Captain Beefheart for all those years, you know, that kind of thing. I'm pretty much a completist. I think I am only missing one or two albums from the Captain Beefheart catalogue. I do love the Captain dearly. But I digress. This is all about the open hi-hat. I've never seen or never heard so much intricate use of an open hi-hat in the most craziest of places. For this it's continually like that. So you'd be doing, say, what could loosely be called a calypso rhythm. So you might have, let's see. Now, oh, Mr. French, you're fantastic. Okay, so what's happening is essentially with this particular technique, what's going on is every time I play the hi-hat on all the quavers, I put it with my right hand, play a single stroke roll, and therefore every time I put the left hand to the hi-hat, it's going to be open naturally. This takes us in to one of the licks of the century is what I usually call it, and it's John Bonham's secret weapon, moving from John Drumbo French and all his brilliant work with Captain Beefheart and the Magic Band and all of that sort of business. One of the things that is almost like a secret weapon with John Bonham, because I did start this segment talking about Led Zeppelin's first album, Good Times, Bad Times, and just the hi-hat pumping away. One of the things that happens is when you're hearing the big Bonham roll, that kind of business, all of this stuff, that's the secret weapon there, you see. Now I'm starting to get a bit loopy with that because I'm getting into a little bit of an open and close thing, and I'll talk about that after the break. Okay, so hope you're getting something out of that. Two drummers to look out for. John Bonham goes without saying, and that was my little love letter to John Drumbo French. Okay, so John, I hope you, if you're watching, thank you for all that hi-hat work. Okay, I had to reappraise. I thought, man, that's incredible. All this stuff with the open hi-hat, brilliant, you know. And yeah, what can I say? All right, back after the break, hey?